March 15th, meeting of the Falmouth Planning Board to order. First item on the agenda, you could have started without me,
I know, don't be kidding.
is request for release of covenant. And Pat, you'll have to handle this. I have an ongoing relationship with the applicant.
And I also need to make a statement that if anybody objects, I would have to recuse myself too. Although I have no financial interest in this, Longfellow is doing the addition on my house. I don't believe it would have anything to do with this, but there you go. Does anybody object? Okay. So, Brian, can you explain what this is?
My understanding is this is the old, this is a covenant against this property between some private parties that refers to the planning board. And my recommendation to this board, consulting with Attorney Duffy, is simply to release any interest in this covenant that you may have, if any. And then I will work with Attorney Duffy and the property owners to get some in recordable form for that parts of the county. So that's my recommendation to the board.
Okay, Bob, can you kind of repeat what Brian said as a
right.
motion, please?
I'll move that we release the covenant for 533 Woods Hole Road, Nautilus Partners LLC, Pine Valley Drive.
Oh.
533 was
Woods Hole Road. Yeah.
Okay. And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
So we're going to release a covenant, this is for the Dome property?
Yes, but we have no interest in it so we're releasing it on behalf of the town.
If you have any, is the caveat there. So you're simply voting to use any interest that you might have, if any, period, and no right to release it.
This is the covenant that was recorded in 2007?
Right, that's it, right, that's the supposed restrictions on the property between the two private parties, In that covenant, my understanding is reference to the planning board. But the planning board is not a party to that covenant. But in fairness to the property owners and others, if you release any interest you have, if any, and we'll settle the issue. Take the right of brand new covenant.
Anything further?
No.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, it's been moved, seconded, that this covenant be released. If we have any interest in it, which we do not, as far as we know. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained. Okay, thank you.
Second covenant is a,
Yeah, but you don't worry about it. Get back in here.
Excuse me.
oh, you can sit down.
It's in the covenant.
So the second covenant is, so Pine Valley Drive is sort of a leftover from the days of the 80s and whatnot, I guess. It's fully built out. Title search has revealed it has never had a discharge, I was on the home court side. So I'd ask the board to release the covenant in its entirety, to clear up any title defects for the property on the site.
I
Anybody?
move, oh, go ahead.
Well, I just wondered if anybody had any questions of Brian at all. Okay, then we need a motion.
Okay, I move
I guess I took over.
we release the covenant for Pine Valley Drive.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Next, approval not required. Applicant Richard Caruso, plan of land to adjust the existing lot line 18 Sitters. Has everyone had time to review this?
Yeah.
You have not? Take a minute.
No, I've been
I am
second fire.
familiar with it, not because I'm directly involved, but I just know of the situation. This is a driveway coming in here,
Okay.
and they were driving over these people's land, and they were talking about putting a fence, and the solution is an Indian swap. They're taking this piece here for this piece there. It's just adjusting the lot lines. There's a color version if you need to see it. You all set? Have you had time to review it? Pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Need a motion?
I move that we approve the,
Endorse, right?
endorse, I always say approve because that's the word in front of me.
Yep.
Endorse the approval not required for Richard Caruso, plan of land to adjust the existing lot lines located at 18 Citrus Pond Road without any, what's the terminology
Regard
for?
to buildability.
For buildability and et cetera.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All set. Next.
Yeah.
Another approval not required, Robert Davis and Holly Chrissy. Plan of land between two lots. Does anyone need more time? I've reviewed this earlier. Has you all had a chance to look at it? Any questions from anybody? I need a motion to endorse.
I move that we endorse the plan of land to adjust the property line between the two lots located at Assessors Map numbered 10-02-004-208 and 209 Holmes McGrath.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. And here's one we're not familiar with.
Why does this keep coming back?
We don't get to ask why, we just have to say, we just look at what's in front of us and endorse it or don't endorse it. Have you all had a chance to review this for the fourth time? This plan? Not this exact plan, but something like this? Everyone comfortable? Does anyone have any questions? The standard disclosure, it does not affect the buildability of either lot. We're
Yeah.
just moving lands between two different lots. John, do you have a
I have
question?
a comment.
Comment away.
So what is this, the fifth A&R on this property? And
I wasn't sure, I lost count.
Since Brian retired, I mean? No,
Something like
this is ridiculous. And the planning board does have a right to question this. In the past, the planning board wanted to know what the applicant's intentions were. That's why we have subdivision control laws.
Right.
I mean, to do 5 A&Rs on the same parcel in the span of 2 months is ridiculous. Everybody should be able to zone their properties like this. So that's my comment, and I'll be ready to vote anytime anyone wants to make a motion.
Could we hear Brian's comment on John's comment?
It's a hard thing practicing sometimes in Massachusetts because we are the only state in our nation that has the approval not required process. It came out of the 30s and 40s on conveyancing issues. It enables planning boards to be very ministerial. It came in 1953. The approval not required process is routine in nature, ministerial in nature, just shifting lot lines, doing this and that. You have no zoning implications in your decision. Anyone who comes up to you with information about what the building commissioner says this, and the zoning bylaw says that, and the assessors are telling you this, all that information does you no good, or the applicant no good, because it's all irrelevant. The only question in front of the board is, does the plan depict the subdivision as defined? That's their first inquiry. There's a threshold test. A threshold test. Is it a division of a parcel of land into 2 or more lots? That's the threshold test. You don't even get into the inquiries about, the adequacy of the web, the adequacy of the ways the building portion of the lot. You have to open the door past the threshold. And if the threshold isn't crossed, it's entitled to endorsement. Simple, ministerial, only process in the nation. So we get to the question, does it pass the threshold test? Is it a division of a parcel of land into 2 or more lots that are defined under the subdivision control law? It is not. End of inquiry. No more tests. Endorsement is required. There we go. You may not like it. You may want to have inquiries as to why we're doing this or whatever. It could be to, nothing ever happens to these plans. They don't have to be recorded. Any person can bring an application. It doesn't have to be a property owner. It could be any number of reasons that are of no concern to the board. So I know it's hard, I know it's something you don't particularly care for, but you and every other planning board, except for the Boston Youth Development Authority and the Cambridge Youth Development Authority, have to kind of live with this process. So my recommendation is that it doesn't depict subdivision as defined. It's entitled to endorsement. It has the standard notes on there. Remember how many times as Brian said, with regard to building, zoning, buildability, you are simply answering one question. That simple one question is, does the plan depict the subdivision? If I have a hobby of bringing in A&R plans, that's what I do, you know, I sort of enjoy it, you know, kind of my golf game, there it is. But that's, you know, that's my explanation to the board.
Could I ask a further question?
Sure.
We understand, I understand at least, and I'm sure we're going to endorse it, but it certainly triggers curiosity about why so often for this particular thing? What's going on there? You're saying it's a hobby?
And if you had,
You did say it.
I did say it. You may have curiosities, but none of that has any sting.
They don't care if
Any
we're
person-
curious.
Any person can bring it in, for whatever reasons compel them. In your line of inquiry, the only thing of concern to this board is, do you have jurisdiction? Does it depict the subdivision? It doesn't depict the subdivision, you don't have jurisdiction. That's the only germane question. Everything else is secondary or tertiary, germane to your decision making. So if you want to make a decision whether the plan depicts a subdivision, that's okay. And then you might want to inquire of the applicant a particular reason why you come back to the program. But you're not approving these as buildable lots. You're not approving this as for the assessing purposes. You're not making any determinations under the zoning bylaw. You and all the other planning boards out there are simply answering that very fundamental question whether or not it's subdivision. That's the way it works in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Pat?
I could come back and you could do this. Remember Marlene, we gave you this treatise maybe 5 or 6 or 7 years ago of subdivision control in Massachusetts. Every time you get a refresher. Up to you guys.
Well, I do have a question because I think there's something else that applies, and that was a question originally that we brought up. And that is an A&R. To do the kind of thing we're doing, it has to be, I think, on a road. It can't be an A&R stuck back someplace.
You're not even getting to the, you're not even getting to that inquiry.
Ah,
You're not
okay.
getting to the adequacy of the way inquiry. You're not getting to the adequacy of the way to the buildable portion of what requires those tests. You haven't crossed the threshold.
Still 2 lots.
Okay?
No,
You
I
haven't crossed
understand.
the threshold. You're not even
No.
getting to those inquiries yet. So put those aside. Those come after you pass the threshold test. Is it a division? The first sentence in the definition, section 81L, is a division of a parcel of land into 2. If you don't cross the threshold, you don't get to ask the inquiry questions about the adequacy of the land, because you're not there. That's where I think the board is sort of spinning this one. You're back when we hear, have you opened the door? No, the door hasn't opened. So,
Need a motion, right? Okay, I move that we endorse the A&R of James Ware et al. Plan of land to adjust lot boundaries at 186 and 188 Gansett Road without any endorsement in regarding to zoning buildability, and should not be construed as an approval that any lot shown is entitled to a building permit.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
It passes, it's endorsed. Okay,
But why would they do it?
Come back to that down again.
I can tell you, because
that completes it. Now we're talking about our next meeting already, right? Is that it?
my understanding is the
In the
next
wrong
meeting
place.
will be next Tuesday, the
it's the
20th.
same.
Yeah.
Confirm that with Melinda.
Why couldn't they just say
Corey's on
so?
vacation, you're gonna have to put up with me.
Right.
That's okay.
We'll put together an agenda for you and get it out to you hopefully, it's Thursday, holy moly.
I would like to have something on the agenda.
Calling it a hobby is exactly.
I would
the
like
statement.
to talk about making a change in the bylaw of what we call a structure. I've read the state definition, well, not just a structure, but what requires planning board approval as a structure. In particular, ground-mounted solar arrays that have 50 tons of steel and concrete foundations. You haven't been by Kenyans. You need to see it. And I had a conversation with the building inspector, and he told me that our bylaw says, not our bylaw, but the threshold for site plan review is triggered by 5 parking spaces or 1,000 square feet. And I thought it was structure, and he's saying of gross floor area. And so this way, I don't think when we wrote that, we had any consideration of what these ground-mounted solar arrays that are 20 feet high and cover hundreds of or thousands of square footage.
Well, then you may want to do this. You just might want to amend what is subject to a plan review.
That's what I'm trying to accomplish.
Before fiddling with the definition.
That's what I wanted. I wanted to I wanted to solve that problem, because if you extend that thought process of what he's decided is not a structure, every parking lot in Falmouth could have these all the way.
Well, it's not it's gross floor area is defined.
Right.
And it's about, interior walls, interior walls, so
But-
obviously, something like that.
Does a carport count? A carport's an open structure with a roof.
That would count. Because,
And yet, the same thing, because it has solar panels on it, does not.
you think of a situation.
Carports aren't allowed in the front
I
yard?
have an intent. It's specifically listed as a use requiring certain reviews by the Board of Appeals. It's not gross floor.
Right.
It doesn't require parking. So I think that's what you're looking at.
Yeah, right. There's a loophole here. I don't believe it was anyone's intention to,
It is what it is.
but it is. It's there. Believe me, I tried to,
So if in fact we didn't have a specific category of use in the zoning bylaw for a cell tower or a radio tower, it too would
go anywhere.
go.
So,
So that's what you're doing.
because the change in technology, change in construction methods, we have a process here that I don't think is working. It doesn't work for me. I don't know about the rest of you, but I want to talk about it when it's on the agenda.
Well, why don't we get with Corey and Melinda?
Well, I have
I
asked for it. I called them up specifically and asked for it. It just didn't make the cut.
For Tuesday, the 20th.
As soon as I can, as soon as we can.
You can, you may want to then discuss for the next time meeting, what it is you want to have, plan review, or even special permit use. You have all sorts of things out there, 3-car garages, special permit use, so you may want to think about adding it as a use.
Yes. I want to come up with a streamlined solution. You can help
It
us.
says you have an accessory use special permit for 3-car garages. If I have an accessory use of ground mount solar arrays, districts, it would require a height review, either a plan review or a special permit.
Because,
It's not a hard fix.
no. So it has more to do with the term, not structure, but floor area.
It's a use, no, I wouldn't
Yeah.
go, I wouldn't go.
Use.
It's a use.
Use, it does, no,
It's a
okay.
use that
Right.
requires.
A cell tower has no floor area. That's the best example.
Antennas, so, they don't have borders, but they require a heightened level of review. If you want a heightened level of review for this use, then it does a use that requires it.
This is,
Don't overcomplicate.
well, this is the exact reason why, not knowing this was coming, but we thought that the ground-mounted solar array anywhere actually needed to have more discussion. Instead of just, that's why we did an indefinite postponement at town meeting, because it needs more review.
Sure, the one up on,
Thomas Landers.
Yeah.
Carl,
No, but we were going to change, the easy solution was to just make it a use that's allowed. Sounded like real easy, but then you're into the same box. That means these could go anywhere, so it needs to be studied a little bit.
oh, this is the, my special permit in ag zones.
Yes.
So you got to take this a closer look, that's fine. Never rush.
Well, that's one thing I've learned with you, Brian. We were smart waiting. Every time you've advised us to be careful and go slow, it's worked out better. Thank you.
There's a very famous American philosopher, his name is Elvis.
Yeah,
He said, fools rush in.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's on our next agenda, if you folks haven't seen it. John, you have come?
I'd like to add something also.
Sure.
For future. I'd like to start having a discussion about how to make East Falmouth a redevelopment area.
Yeah.
We've
Certain
talked
parts
about
of
doing
East
that
Falmouth.
a lot. We
Yeah.
should. Let's put it on the agenda, and we should invite the East Falmouth group, is it the Civic Association, or Village Association? They-
Association.
We should
yes.
make sure that they're invited. And it would, I totally agree.
Could use a lot of work.
Yeah, yeah.
I agree. Two good ones.
I hope they both don't come up on the 20th. I have to miss that meeting, and I would be very sorry to miss the meeting about East Falmouth.
It won't be the first.
Yeah, it won't be the last either. We'll have many
That one's
meetings.
gonna be-
That won't all happen at one
That's when the
time.
neighborhood turns out.
We'll play it out. You'll have your, I'm sure we'll have many meetings on it. You'll get caught up.
Not gonna be a one-shot deal.
No. Okay, so I need a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Thank you.
Is lunch meeting